Hello, thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation that is going to outline some key information for our Key Stage 3 students this year. I'm sorry that we can't meet in person in the hall, but so is the way of things. Firstly, though, I want you to have a look at these images. They all have something in common. Have a think, see if you can come up with it, and I'll come back to it later on.
Hello everyone. What I also want to talk about is the phrase protect, protect, protect. So, if you've been following my Twitter feed or you've been looking at our website, you'll have seen the extensive level of planning that we've been putting into getting children back safely. And I just want to put this in context and reiterate a message that I gave to all students as they arrived back in September. We have 1,432 young people in our care here. I have 176 staff. We're all in this together. It is not the easiest thing on the earth to be able to bring back that many people into one place. And I am so very grateful to our community for taking heed for my message that if you live within 2 miles of Poynton High School, please have your child walk to school. If you live outside of 2 miles, please drop your child off somewhere else other than school site. We have to work on this together. What I said to students is that I wanted them to remember back. I wanted them to remember back to March, April and May, when every Thursday evening at 8 o'clock we used to go outside of our homes and we used to clap and cheer and bang things and set off fireworks for the heroes that are the NHS. Those doctors, the nurses, the auxiliary staff, the cleaners, the porters, the receptionists. They are absolute heroes in helping us and helping our community and our society to get back to some level of functionality and normality. What I need the students to be is I need them to be the heroes now. And there are rules around face masks, face shields, hand sanitizers, bubbles, facing one direction, making sure that the zones don't mix and so on, that they're likely to get frustrated with, or they're likely to not truly understand the nature of why we're doing these things. The three main health and safety priorities is number one, we need to keep ill people away from healthy people. And that's why I need you that if your child or someone in your household or yourself is exhibiting symptoms of COVID, you need to self-isolate, keep your children off school and ring the COVID helpline to get a test. What that means is if they have a temperature, if they've got a dry, persistent new cough, or if they've got a change in taste or a change in smell, they're the key 3 symptoms. However, that's not to be conflated with a cold. We're about to go into October, November, December, and colds will happen, runny noses will happen. And I want them in because we need to get them on the treadmill of learning. But if it's those 3 symptoms of COVID, need you to keep them off. So number one, we need to keep ill people away from healthy people. Number 2 is wash their hands. We have spent an extraordinary amount of money. We have more hand sanitizer than we know what to do with. We have sinks and soap and towels and everything around the entire school. And we're encouraging our students to make sure that at all points they're washing their hands. And number 3, if they need to cough, if they need to sneeze, or if they've just got a bit of a splutter, they need to do that into a tissue, and that tissue needs to go into a bin. That's the catch it, kill it, bin it slogan that's running across the country. We're all in this together and need us to work together because it's not just about the 1,432 young people or the 176 staff. We serve a community of tens of thousands of people, and it's our community that we're protecting, it's our staff that we're protecting, and it's our children that we're protecting. And if we work together on these things and we tread carefully and take those baby steps forward, we're able to continue our learning, keep our school open, and make sure that our young people have the access to the things that they need to make sure that they have a passport to move on to things later on in life. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for all the questions that you've sent in. And thank you for the very positive messages and comments and emails and tweets that we're getting about our level of planning and preparation. But it's key that we continue to work on this together. Protect, protect, protect. Because it's not just the children, it's not just the staff, it's our community as a whole. So thank you, but let's keep on going. Thank you.
I'd like to take the opportunity to talk you through some key information for our year groups this year. Firstly, the year team. I'm Emma Keaveney. I'm the Director of Learning for Key Stage 3. I am overall responsible for the year groups with a particular focus on supporting the progress and attainment of our Key Stage 3 students. I'm also responsible for monitoring behaviour and celebrating successes. Laura Swaffer is the welfare leader for Key Stage 3. Her responsibility is to support our students in Year 8 and 9. She is in charge of attendance and punctuality, as well as monitoring behaviour and celebrating the successes. And Craig Weston is the assistant year leader for Key Stage 3. He is a general support to the year team, and together with myself and Laura Swaffer is responsible for monitoring behaviour and celebrating all of the successes of our Key Stage 3 students.
Hi Year 8 and 9, I'm Miss Swaffer and I'm your pastoral leader. Most of you will know me by now, if not you'll have seen me around. It's now more than ever really important that you're in school as much as you can be. If you are off for any reason, I've left all the information of what your parents can do if you're absent. While you are at home, it's my job to support you in any way that I can do. While you're in school, it's my job to go through all the ways that we can be resilient, getting in the classroom, making it as normal as we can be, being in school in this new world. Me and Miss Keaveney are always keeping our eye on you. We're monitoring all the work that you're doing, how you're getting on, and if you need anything, you know that we're always here. If anything is going on, speak to whoever's at home. They can email me, they can ring me, and we can find out the best way together that we can support you and make you as happy as you can be while you're in Year 8 and 9.
A really important part of the Year 8 team are the form tutors. So this year we've got 8 KMG with Miss Greenfield, 8 GF with Miss Ferrandon-Latch and Mrs Thiel, 8 AGU with Miss Guest, 8 RL Miss Long, 8 SCH Mrs Hoyle and Mrs Coultas, 8 CGM Mrs Graves and Mrs Maguire, 8 CJC Mrs Crossan and 8 CRK Mr Kelly and Mr Webster. Also important members of the year team are our 2 SLT links. These are the senior leadership team. So we have Miss Ryder and Mr Hoyle, both of whom are assistant head teachers. And we also have Mr Andy Bennett and Miss Catherine Holland as well, who are also a key part of our pastoral team at Poynton High School. So over the course of the year, there are reporting intervals. Subject teachers, heads of departments and directors of learning will review the progress of your sons and daughters over the course of the year. This will be communicated to you formally 3 times, and students may be offered extra support through Google Classroom. We also send out parent bulletins. These come out every half term and are the chance for us to update you on the goings on around school, some key information from different departments, opportunities for the students to get involved in, revision ideas and things that are coming up in the next half term so that they can be prepared. If you feel we don't have the best email address for you, please just let us know, send us an email into school so that we make sure that we can sort out our records so that you get all of this information. So our expectations for the year group. The key theme for Year 8 is taking responsibility. There are going to be many opportunities for the students to take responsibility this year, get involved with different activities and develop their leadership skills. All of the students will have the chance to take part in Play in the Week, which will happen later on in the year, as well as sporting activities, house activities, and so on. And we really want to encourage the Year 8 students to develop their leadership skills, take part in all of the opportunities that are still on offer in school, despite the strange circumstances that we find ourselves in. A really important thing as well for me as a geography teacher is that we're really keen to reduce our use of plastic. So where possible, if we can use reusable water bottles and so on, less plastic, less paper, and we're thinking about our impact on the environment. That is a key thing for taking responsibility for Year 8 this year. Behaviour and rewards are a really important part of school life. The behaviour policy and reward policy has been in place now since the Year 8s have been at school, and I know that they know it really, really well. There's a positive behaviour for learning policy which allows us to celebrate all of the successes of all of our students whilst also making sure that they make the right decisions. A monthly conduct summary will be sent home to you via email, and this is an overview of how your child is getting on. It will include attendance, behaviour points, house points, and it will compare to the year group average. Behaviour points C1s to C4s, and we have a C5 outside of school, the same as it always has been, and the rewards, H1s to 4s, and these are handed out in classrooms, around the school, in extra activities that the students do to celebrate all of the amazing things that they've been doing and the great choices that they've been making. Revision guidance is a really important part of their learning, and it's something that I certainly focus on throughout the year. Throughout the year, the students will be given tips on how to effectively revise. We want to build up these skills early on in Key Stage 3 so that when they come to their GCSEs in Year 11, they know that they've got a bank of skills that they've already practiced, embedded, and they know how to do ready for revising for their GCSEs. They'll be given clear guidance before their exams on how to revise. Different subject areas will give them guidance on how best to revise for their subjects. During some registration activities, students will be encouraged to engage with their learning, be it reflect on their last fortnight's learning in a subject, make a spider diagram, come up with exam-style questions to test themselves. And there's going to be progress-based registration, so we make sure that there is an academic focus in some of these activities as well, just to keep them building up these skills that are going to help them later on. An important part of the curriculum this year is the reading focus. Mr. Hoyle is going to talk to you about that, but firstly I wanted to share with you my favourite book, which is Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh. It's a beautiful story, complex characters, lots of twists and turns throughout, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading it when I was in Year 12, I think I was when I first read it.
My favourite book is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I absolutely love Gothic literature and the way that it's written. It's been my favourite book for years, and every now and again I do like to read it again. I really like the style of it. I'm going to pass you over to Mr. Hoyle now, who's going to go through our reading strategies.
Hello, it's Mr. Hoyle. I have some responsibility within school for teaching and learning, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time at the start of this video to talk to you about the focus that we're placing on reading at school during this academic year. Reading's always been a focus, but we're really trying to emphasise it this year. You'll see on the slide that accompanies me talking, there are a whole range of reasons why reading is beneficial for all of us, and particularly for young people. Some of those reasons are academic, they're to do with brain science, some of those reasons are social, and some of those reasons are about health and well-being. So across school we're placing this focus on reading in order that we hope it benefits students in their learning, but also, as I say, socially in their well-being too. There's also a practical reason. We're in a situation now within school, as you'll be well aware, that each of our year groups are being taught in bubbles. What that means is that staff have to move between each lesson. So you can quite often be in a situation where you're moving from room 77 down to room 6 and you're going the length and breadth of the school. What we don't want to happen is we don't want there to be any wasted time. If we've learned anything in the last 6 months, it's just how precious time in school is. Having a reading book for each of our students means that everybody knows at the start of those lessons they should be reaching into their bag, taking out a book that they really enjoy in order that they've got a focus for their learning at the start of those lessons and that precious time is not wasted. What I failed to do in my first section, but quite deliberately, was talk about the things that I'm reading. I have an instinct that my colleagues will have told you about some very interesting, intellectually impressive texts. My own reading? Well, I'm a father of 3-year-old twins, so quite often my reading at the moment revolves around Meghan Mogg and Disney princess books. It's not that all that academically or intellectually impressive. That has a knock-on effect. The knock-on effect is that when I'm choosing fiction for myself, the book I read most recently was a book called Grief is a Thing with Feathers by Max Porter. It's only 100 pages long. It's very short. So the impact of the time that I have available means that the choices I make in terms of reading are quite deliberate. I understand that for everyone out there, reading choices are difficult at times. We lead busy lives. It's hard to be motivated. But again, as the slide accompanying this will say, we have to model the change that we want to be. So I'm setting you a challenge. There is an email address accompanying on the slide. I'd like you to contact me. I'd like you to write into that address, tell me about the books that you're reading, the books that you enjoy. And in the spirit of the Couch to 5K, I'd like to set our parents, who are so wonderfully supportive of everything we do within school, I'd like to set you all a challenge to model for your young people. Let's go for a couch and 5 books challenge. You don't have to get off the couch for this challenge. You can stay on it. I might not be doing myself any favours in terms of healthy eating. You can eat crisps, you can eat ice cream, but if you're reading those 5 books, you are modelling for your young people the kind of response we want for our reading strategy. I'm really looking forward to the communications we get. I'm excited by finding out what kind of books you've been reading and how that challenge goes. Let us know. Let's really support the young people across Poynton by modelling that reading. Thank you.
This year we'll use Google Classroom for our home learning and also for most feedback that students will receive during the year. Google Classroom gives students an opportunity to access a range of resources, gives them links to different documents, websites, videos, and will be really useful as they move towards their exams and consolidating the work they've done over the last year or the last 2 years. It will also be the main platform in which they receive feedback from their teachers. So they've been used before the summer to submitting work on Google Classroom. They're able to do that really well now, and that's how feedback will come back to them for most of their work this year as well. It proved before the summer to be a really successful platform. We've obviously updated students this year, made sure we've given them a bit more training. We put a training video answering some of the questions from before the summer, but I've got confidence they really understand it and will use it really well. So that's how we'll use homework. We're no longer using Doddle. That's a platform we stopped using because we found Google Classroom to be a better platform for home learning. So that's how we'll operate during this year for all our year groups in the school.
I think it's important that we share with you the Key Stage 3 focus that we have in school this year. Obviously, we recognise that our students have missed a significant amount of their learning, and particularly our current Year 8s and Year 9s who've missed the most schooling out of any other year group. Myself and Simon Hoyle were part of a whole staff inset training session where we talked about Key Stage 3, and we went through some strategies with staff and highlighted some teaching and learning strategies that can be used with our Key Stage 3 students. They are very important. They are very much a priority, and they are very much the focus of our staff's thinking. We are working extremely hard to get our students back learning. We realise that yes, they have missed time. Yes, they do need a bit of extra support when we're in school, and we are doing all that we can to not only ensure their health and safety, but to make sure they are back learning, back in the classroom and enjoying their learning. But it's really important that they then take their time to be in school, to value their lessons and value everything about school. We're giving them everything that we can, and we need to make sure that they respond and give us everything that they can in the classroom too. So valuing every lesson, every activity, every homework is what we expect of our young people. This will ensure that they get the best out of their education. We have high expectations of them, and we don't apologise for that. They've already made an incredible start. I've really enjoyed teaching my Year 8 and 9 year group, and I know that they're going to have a great year. Okay, at the very start of this, I showed you a series of pictures and asked you if you could think about what these things had in common. They're all examples of very valuable cultural capital, and all things that can be found in our Poynton High School cultural passport. This is something that I've worked really hard on, and I think it's really important focus for Key Stage 3. Cultural capital is the knowledge, attitude, values, language, taste, abilities, the social assets of a person that help them in everyday situations. Essentially, it's the stuff that we know. It's the stuff that means that we can have a conversation with other people. It's the stuff that means students can have conversations with adults about the world around them. And they have an understanding of the world around them and can apply that in loads of different situations. So the passport is a key focus of Key Stage 3. It runs throughout Year 8 and 9. It's delivered in weekly form time sessions. Every student's given a passport, they keep that in school, and they can record any challenges that they've done and what they've done with them. The aim really is to introduce students to new ideas, to get them to see what they might like, what they don't like, to get them trying things. They have a little bit more freedom at Key Stage 3 to try things. And yeah, they don't like them, so they can try something new. Or they might find out that they are the best at something that they never thought they would have enjoyed. We want them to experience loads of different things. We want to boost their engagement, boost their interest in school, make them feel more confident as well. And also, ultimately, they are global citizens, and we want them to have a better understanding of the world around them. The sessions also link in with lots of different aspects of the curriculum, so it really ties together their learning in school. There are 12 different half terms in year 8 and year 9, and they will cover 12 different themes. Some of them are values themes, things like respect, integrity, compassion, honesty and aspirations, and then others are more content focused, about broadening our horizons, money, politics, things like that. All things that we think are really important for the students to know. Every student is expected to complete at least one challenge per half term. Loads of these challenges can be completed in school, and it'd be great to get as many students involved as possible in all of this, especially outside school, doing things that they maybe wouldn't otherwise do because they've been inspired by something that they've seen in form time. Okay, and finally, I guess a what to do if. If you've got a concern regarding progress, please get in touch with me in the first instance. If you have a welfare concern, please get in touch with Miss Swaffer in the first instance. A member of the year team will get back to you within 48 working hours as per our school policy. For regular updates and key information, please follow us on Twitter. The handle is on this presentation here. It's a really good way for us to communicate with you and with the students, so please do follow us on that. And the school website has most information from departments, from helping your child with their learning at home, and also different Twitter pages. Due to the virtual nature of this year's presentation, I can't now stop and say that you can come up and ask me any questions, but a Google form is going to be sent home alongside this presentation. If you have any questions about anything at all, please use this Google form to submit them to us. If you can do this by the following Friday, so the 25th of September, and then we can respond and send out an FAQs document to all parents, which will mean that we can get back to you with all of the answers to your questions, and we'll do that by Friday the 2nd of October. Thank you very much for taking the time out to listen to me and to watch this presentation. We really do appreciate it, and I personally am really looking forward to working with Year 8 and Year 9 this year. Thank you.